Recently, I've been thinking a lot about open space and the many ways in which it is tremendously interesting. And I wouldn't even say that I used to think that open space was nothing. It's more like I never had any thought about open space at all. But I want to think about it in a few different ways and work through those in this talk. Open space not only provides a, a way in which things that are in form can be in form. So if you think about yourself or your desk or your water bottle, none of these things would have anywhere to be if there was no open space. You need open space in order to have anything. So the reason that, or one of the reasons that there is something rather than nothing is because there is open space in which that something can even take shape. And the Tao says this in the sense of it talks about a vase, and that the usefulness of the vase is in its emptiness, right? In the inside portion, the emptiness is the usefulness because you can pour water in that, you can put flowers in that. If that weren't there, you couldn't really do anything with that vase. Same thing with a room, right? The usefulness of the four walls and a floor and a ceiling of a room is the space that then exists inside of those that you can put things in. And so there's that element. Additionally, I have come to think of space as sort of sort of like a haptic quality or a connective tissue in a way. What I mean by that is it carries or it allows for light, which gives us then the ability to see things. Right? So visibility exists because there is open space. Movement happens in open space. And so there is a connective quality through that open space and our movements of our body through it. Our voice or any noises that we hear, those sound waves are given the ability to travel through open space. And so in these ways, it's really, really, really not nothing. It's very much something. It allows all of these things to occur. We couldn't have any form, so you as a body couldn't exist. We couldn't have any speech. We couldn't hear the birds tweeting. We couldn't move. And we couldn't see anything if there were no open space. This is highly, highly important. And the other thing that I would think about open space is it is essentially the dimension, if you want to think of it as a dimension, on which everything else exists. So everything I just spoke about, it's able to be because it plays in the open space. There is nothing without the nothingness of open space. And so in this way, it is the most important thing. If there is any option or any ability to have something rather than nothing, the first most critical element that is needed is open space. And then you can fill that with the somethings that are the counterpoint to the nothings. Lastly, form. We've talked about form in the sense of formation of our body and our movement, but think about how you can see anything. Part of how you can see anything is because there's a background to it. And that background is predominantly open space. And so without the open space, not only could you not see anything because there wouldn't be any ability for light to travel, there would be no light to travel, there'd be nowhere to travel to. There'd be nothing to travel by. But additionally, there's the element of the background. You can see someone else's body because you are seeing it against the background of the open space. And this applies to everything. There is nothing without the background. And so the background and the open space then become exceedingly important. And so in all of these ways, I think there should be an elevated thought around open space and what we might otherwise consider nothing, because none of what I have just talked about would be taking shape, literally or figuratively, without open space.